Tonight, we're changing a wordage of defining what structure is in a setback for a township road thing. So it's a technicality. 2 weeks after we make any motion of any change, you have to have a public hearing.
And if
That's when all the Eddy County people showed up, was a public hearing. And that has to be 2 weeks after the
and
meeting.
it doesn't mean that you're just going to have one public hearing. You could have 2, 3, 4, 5 extra public hearings until you approve whatever verbiage you want.
Anytime you change something, then you need another public hearing.
Yep.
I would say the calendar suggests this probably isn't going to be in your lap as a commission until July.
That's probably
That
good
being
assumption.
said, I would like to see them hold their public forum and be true to that.
Yeah,
First.
I agree.
And I'm in the
I
camp
agree with
that
too.
I don't think it matters. They've had all kinds of meetings in Rockford. Those people have been there already.
I think it's a good faith effort on their
Well,
part
it is.
to appease the folks in Wells County and say that it was held here. And
Yeah, that's fine.
That's what I
And
feel, too.
generally, I
Yeah,
want
so-
to try and do zoning meetings on Tuesday nights now that equalization meetings are over. So we would have more meetings for public forum.
Tuesday's not good for me. I'm just kidding.
Well, you guys can work that out.
Oh, okay.
Good luck.
Okay, that's it.
Thanks, John. Thank you.
Hey, did you want to ask her about that pipeline piece? Or?
Oh, did we ever get all that zoning figured out for the pipeline down south, or we gotta work on that too, some?
Well, no, they have to file, I don't know whether there's any particular ordinances, I haven't read the zoning in a while, other than what we've been dealing with. But, in order for them to continue to do anything past the 3 miles that they've already finished, they're gonna need another conditional use permit. Now that they've been caught red-handed, they know that they're gonna need
I knew there was something.
I don't think they're back in Wells County until 2028.
That's right.
27 or 28 is
Yeah,
required.
they're 2 years out from moving on in Wells County.
But I heard that they were gonna use the canal.
No,
Yeah.
I thought
here's the
they were
thing, we're
selling
gonna get
it
it for
now.
free and we're gonna sell it to them.
Could have buried the Cathay School in there.
So you want it?
Well, I always thinking of creative ways.
Yeah.
No, I don't.
Gave us an idea.
Trust
What
me,
else
no.
you want to bet?
They would need an application for that, so they can do anything better.
Conditional use permit down.
Yeah.
Okay. I knew there was something, but I couldn't remember what it was.
$2,000.
That was my,
So,
you got it all. Big deal. All right, thanks, Gianna.
yep.
Thank you, Jason, Good News Bears, how you doing?
Hope it's better news, I guess.
Only a half hour, 35 minutes late.
That's the
that's
phrase
the
too,
chairman's
so
fault.
you're gonna get lots of paper today. I'm just gonna hand everything out here right away, I guess, so that I won't have to do it again.
Want your milk, Jason?
Yeah, if you don't mind.
Nope, don't mind it.
One of each.
Yep, one of each.
One lemon and one.
Yep.
Brent has it.
I think I might have it.
Poor
All right, I'll
Brent.
get you one.
I've tried for years.
Push the buzzer. Poor Brent. We're picking on you now.
That's all right, I deserve it.
Yeah, have fun, cold shoulders. Having fun, getting some stuff done, you bet.
Good.
Getting some complaints, getting some comments, some
That's
some
huge.
good and
You
bad.
gotta be used to that.
Yep, nothing new in that one.
Oh, we got the whole template here. We're gonna put this on our wall.
Hard copies.
You have
That's
one,
not a final product yet, so
Well,
don't
but
hang that up anywhere.
close.
I wanna talk about it before we do anything.
you need
I
this?
need my wife to put it up on the wall.
Okay, I need that to need. Yep, I have one, as long as you know you have everything you need.
What's this one? That's the 4-inch.
Oh, right, 5-inch.
All right, so we'll start with the new estimate. I've got the plans here. We got the bid documents ready to go for Hamburg West there. I gave you 2 estimates just so you can look at them real quick and make a decision. One's for 4 inches of pavement, one's for 5. They both have symmetry over the water portion. So that we just included, and I think that needs to be done if we don't do any grade work there.
What did you call it?
Cement treat,
Okay.
putting the cement into that subgrade before we
Okay.
pave on it.
Oh, sure. Okay.
Which asphalt cement, 430, right? Spec,
Yep.
430. Over here.
Yeah, super pave FA 42 would be the pavement. Asphalt cement is your oil. Prices have gone down some, so this actually came out quite a bit cheaper than it would have a year ago. So the total is $775,000 for 4 inches of pavement. For 5 inches, we're at $903,550. And I guess I will leave it up to you guys to decide which. Sure.
Is the 5-inch good for 105.5 or not?
That is why I showed that here.
That's why you did the 5-inch, but the rest of the road ain't 105.5 anyway.
Right.
Correct.
But
This is the road,
eventually,
this is the road that fails sooner than the rest do.
sooner than the rest of that to harvest.
So with the cement treat over the water and the 4 inches of pavement, I am comfortable that it will hold up, you know.
4 inches?
Yeah, but it's not 105.5. So the 5-inch option then will make that 1.5 miles 105.5, so you don't have to address that
So you
later.
gotta drive a whole bunch illegal to get to that one mile.
I know that, but what happens in 5 years if they wanna
Then we'll redo it.
make the rest of it 105.5?
In your
Just put
estimate,
another layer over it.
let's not factor into the 105.5.
Yeah.
Let's just, do you
Okay.
feel the 125,000 extra is worth putting the extra inch on?
I mean, I would do it while they're there, but you also are probably looking at a mill and overlay over the rest of the road going west eventually, so an overlay could be done. Let's say in 5 years you're doing a mill and overlay for the next 5 miles of it.
Right.
You could do an overlay at
That's
that.
this.
And that, will that be good for 105.5 if you put enough
If
in?
we get at least another inch on top of that, now it's 105.5.
That's easy.
The
Yeah.
absolute
How about
absolute
you guys, we
minimum,
did the first part, we eliminated 105.5.
I
We're
know,
never gonna do
4
that.
inches. I'm in the camp.
Yeah.
I'm in the 4-inch camp.
we probably haven't talked about this for a while, but the absolute minimum for 105.5 is 5 inches of pavement with at least 6 inches of base, which we have way more than 6 inches of base out there, so. But the state will not allow the county or us to say anything less than 5 inches of pavement is 105.5. No matter how much base, you could have 10 feet of base, they're saying
Right.
5 inches of pavement is the minimum, so. That's why the plans are made for 4 inches, just so you know. I just wanted to give you
An option.
the two numbers so that.
Appreciate that, I'm comfortable with that.
I'm in the camp of 4 inches. If you ever want to make it all in
You can always put an
105.5,
inch over it.
you know, it's
Exactly.
what it is.
5 years or 10 years down the road.
Yep.
If you go down the road, then you
Yep.
just go over it.
4 inch, I'll have to work.
Yep.
So what kind of shape is the road in now?
It's not in the best, I mean, well,
We bladed it here after a rain last week. I mean, I drive fast, but I have no problem driving 65 down it. It's hard.
it's better than it was when it was paved. Let's go.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's
What's that?
55.
That's a 55
Yeah,
mile
that's
an hour.
55
Yeah.
road, come on.
Well, yeah, I was sheriff.
We're not
Where's the
getting
sheriff
money.
here?
But
Where the hell's the sheriff at?
honestly,
I didn't hear
It-
anything.
the blade operator that bladed that road last Monday or Tuesday after we had that rain last week said, this thing is so hard that if we're gonna continue to blade it, we need to add some gravel. So what that tells me is that there is a lot of millings there that are packed down and it's almost like a highway, to be quite honest with you. We just blade it when we get some rain to fill in a few chuck holes. But it's held its shape, and I was on it last Thursday. I haven't been on it this week. Not feeling hardly any soft spots on it as of last Thursday. Obviously, last year at this time, it was almost a 4-wheel drive only to get down it with the soft spots. But honestly, I think the reason we're not seeing the soft spots is we're not seeing them come through. Is my opinion, and Jason can interject on it, is that those millings are pressed down and packed down so hard that it's almost like it's a highway the way it is right now.
And there was a lot of millings there, so that's what made a really good base on that.
There's a heck of a base there, and it seems to, in my opinion, this spring, well, we loosened everything up last April, so the water was going to come up. Now it's had a year to pack. we're not seeing the soft spots because it's almost like we got a highway over it again. It's packed down.
Sounds good. So guys, what's your wishes?
I gotta ask a question here.
Yep.
Go for it.
It says, you got your proposals here, Jason, and then
Yep.
it says plus engineering, so you might as well let the cat out of the bag and tell them what it is.
Oh,
Yeah, so, you already paid for, we had a separate, contract for PE, because it was gonna be a grading job at that point, so that contract's already in place. So we do 6% of construction for paving jobs, so it would be 6% of whatever the bid, well, really whatever the final cost ended up being.
50,000.
About 50 grand,
Yeah.
give or take.
Yep, I would say a little more than 50,000. One more thing to add.
Can you ever bid your engineer costs, what it actually is?
No.
I mean, we can have that discussion for sure with you anytime, yeah.
what was it?
Typically, you guys don't, I mean, you or KLJ or any other,
Well, I mean, with our
Engineering.
counties, we've been doing 4% design and 6% construction for a long time, as long as I've been here, I guess. But
Nobody has
it's
the-
negotiable,
Yeah.
for sure.
Do an actual bid on the engineering project?
Just a set dollar amount, you're saying? Yeah, we can do that.
but it's
Just
not
was
typical
curious,
though.
but,
I've
yeah.
always said that too, but that's typically not.
Jason, we're at the end of this maintenance plan. You got traffic counts 2025.
Yep.
So is that? I mean, were there or not guys, but
Not all the traffic counts were done in 2025, but there are traffic counts done on every county road every 3 years now.
okay.
So most of these were done actually in 2022, so there should be new.
Because I heard they were
Guessing
coming back
West
through
County
here, correct?
This year.
Yep, yes.
Do them all.
We're gonna do this, right?
So basically, what we're kind of looking at is what the traffic counts were when they did them in 2022. Is that correct?
Right.
I'm into that.
That's kind of an estimate or whatever, because we haven't had any updated in the last couple of years.
Right, I probably bumped them up
A
slightly.
little bit.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay, we're gonna do a motion on
I'll
that.
make a motion to do the 4-inch overlay on that 1.5 miles by Hamburg.
There's a second.
I'll second it.
Second by Brian, motion by Boone. Any discussion on that?
Ballpark as to when will it get bid?
That's the next thing we need to talk about. I don't know if that's part of the motion or not.
No.
No other discussion, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. So we're gonna do it,
Yeah, so bid date, I would like to do it as soon as we possibly can. It has to be advertised for 3 weeks. It's a county project, so it only needs to be advertised in the paper, in the local paper. So, the paper comes out on Wednesdays, is that right?
Thursday.
Saturday
morning.
Saturday. Okay, sorry. So,
It's gotta be in there.
Is there a plan
tomorrow.
being set up?
I mean, it
Well,
could, it could be done at your meeting in June.
I can answer that
That's the
question.
simple way to do it.
So last week, Knife River approached me. They came into Pheasant and approached me, gave me their card. There's going to be 3 asphalt plants set up within the Wells County radius this summer by Knife River. There's an asphalt plant that'll be on this side of Belva. There's an asphalt plant that will be over by Medina, and there's an asphalt plant that'll be over by Tuttle. And the gentleman came around to me and said, does Wells County have any projects for this summer, because we're gonna have an asphalt plant close. And
That
I,
doesn't sound close.
well, that's close considering there's no asphalt projects, DOT asphalt projects in Wells
I
County
thought there
this
was
year.
one in Mannock or in the Mannock area, no?
Well, there might, I know there's a lot of chip seals going on,
Oh,
okay, anyway, they're looking for work. And I said, well, we might have a project in the Hamburg area that would come up for bids and this and that. And he says, well, we'll keep an eye out for it, because with us having plants within a 40, 50 mile radius of Hamburg, we would definitely be interested in bidding that project.
perfect.
Well, I know the contractors are looking for work,
Yeah.
so.
Well, that's good.
We don't have a single paving company that's told us they're full for the year yet. so
That's
they're
good
still-
too.
So I believe your next meeting is June 3rd, is that correct? Yeah.
That doesn't sound right. I've got it here though. June 5th.
Yeah.
Oh, it's on a Thursday?
Thursday.
But we can have that bid any day you guys want, we just have to advertise for 3 weeks, so I
Let's
could
have it.
Get in the paper this week.
Clear our cards right and just make sure it precedes the June commission meeting.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter to us when it is, as long as it can be done in a decision made here.
I could send the advertisement as thoroughly as this afternoon to Dan or tomorrow morning for sure, and hopefully get it in this week then, so. Anytime after the 26th, anytime after Memorial Day, we could.
You can push it to right before the 5th of June, if you want to make it the 3rd of June or whatever.
Can it be during the commission meeting?
Well, as long as we've got all this stuff, so that it doesn't matter if it's during the meeting or as long as it's prior to.
Correct.
It'll just extend, going through, like the commission meeting, it's just gonna make the commission meeting run a lot longer.
And you
as you're
typically
waiting for
make
all
it
the
at the end of the day on any given day, so
Yeah.
if you want to make it the day before that commission meeting, that's fine.
Oh,
That's what
I would say, yeah.
yeah, day before. No trouble.
Yeah. So, you got that taken care of then?
We're doing June 4th, does that sound good? I don't know
Yeah.
who's gonna
Yeah.
be there,
Just so it's
June
before
4th.
June 5th.
but any timing,
4 o'clock.
4 o'clock?
That's the deadline for the,
Bids, okay.
Okay. June 4th, 4 PM. All right, so that wraps up Hamburg then, appreciate that. So I don't think we probably have time, and you guys are way behind, I know. So maybe just take a good look at the maintenance plan here. I did make a new, the laminate is project history, I guess, of all your paved roads. We make those every few years, and it's been a bit since you've gotten a revised one, so that's there to look at. Just so you can kind of see what everything is here on the maintenance plan. We got the county roads, numbers, and I've got them segmented off the way we typically have them segmented. The length by miles, the age of the existing pavement, so that would be the lowest layer of pavement, I guess, because a lot of these have been milled and overlaid many times. But you can kind of see the age there, which that lowest layer of pavement typically does determine how that thing is going to hold up. The last work performed, I went through that with Brent, so we've got the latest on that. And then the big question mark, I guess, for me is this priority thing. I haven't done this with any of the other counties we've done these with, but you guys have many needs. So
Thanks.
for reminding us.
I'm gonna do this with the other counties now, but I did put priorities that, and this is my recommendation slash kind of guesstimate on priority list. And then the traffic counts as well to kind of look at, where the traffic's at. And then down below, like we've done with other counties, I've got a 1 to 5 year plan, a 6 to 10 year plan, and 11 to 20 year plan with what type of project we're recommending, and then costs on the right side of the bottom there, with totals at the bottom. And just so you know, these costs have a 3% increase per year. So, something 20 years out's got, whatever it is, 60% increase on it, I guess. But just trying to put inflation in the equation as well, and then you can see total costs at the bottom. I did break out the bottom two, and I don't know if this is fair. Obviously, this is a conversation for you guys to have. But I did read out 71 and 72, and I've got those costs, some recommendations there and the costs, but I broke those out. So I've got one line of cost without those two highways and another line with them, just to kind of break those out, because when you start looking at the dollars here, the dollars probably aren't there already. So.
Well, if we could just cross out some zeros, they'd all work.
Yeah, be a nice one.
And what that read is that, obviously no decisions made But with the red, those are two highways that we've talked about as far as returning to aggregate. As I said, no decisions made. Just, I mean, Jason and I kind of talked about it, what we had been talking about for several months. So 71 and 72, 71 is south of Bowden, the blinking light road, what we call. And 72 is the 7 miles Chaseley Road. That runs up to where it's already been returned to aggregate and never been repaved. So, you know, we've looked at it as, well, you know, we have had talked about possibly in the future grinding 71, and then in the future, when 72 gets bad, of grinding that. Because, you know, so you're aware with Chaseley, the entire road, that 14 miles was ground up and returned to aggregate. And there was a commissioner that was very adamant at that time about repaving that road, and half of it got done. And then that commissioner was no longer commissioner, and the other half didn't. Do you know where I'm talking, what portion?
Yeah.
But wasn't there money sent from the Highway 3 state to redo that whole road?
That was before my time, I don't know.
I do remember that conversation many times.
I mean, this
Because
is,
Highway 3, they directed all the traffic over there and they said that they would redo that road.
to be honest with you, this is, that was all done prior to, before my employment with the county, even as a blade man.
Bringing up the history.
Yeah, so I don't know what happened 26 years ago.
And yeah, I just want to reiterate, obviously, nothing is set in stone here, this is just recommendation.
Yeah.
It's, I really refer to it as a wish list type of thing,
Yeah.
it gives
Yeah.
you guys something
We've
Well,
got a
thanks
lot
for
of roads.
updating, this is good.
to base up.
Yeah.
And priority, if you guys want that changed, like I said, I just kind of, like, County Road 5 I put as priority number 1. I think that's probably our busiest road, so that's what I did there. County Road 6 and 2 I put as your second priority, only because we've just poured a lot of money into that. County Road 4 I put as your third priority. Like I said, I'm taking some kind of guesses at what's priority here. County Road 1 then, north of Pheasant, I put as 4. You can see the Heimdall portion of County Road 1 I put down as an 8, and so on and so forth. You can kind of see what I'm looking at there. 69 I've got as the 5th, and I tried to color coordinate. Kind of green is maybe higher priority, yellow is a little lower priority, and the red is we're not sure if we're going to be able to put enough money into it, take it that way. And that can change very quickly if you guys need differently. I can make sure Brent's comfortable with all of this as well.
I like this.
So something to start with.
That's
Don't
good.
look at-
All right.
Nice to see it on paper and
Yeah, it is.
I love these. I really do.
They're really good.
I think I told you guys, but I always wanted to do this, and then Divide County asked me about 5 years ago. It was during COVID. They said, hey, why don't we try to get an actual plan in place, because they wanted to figure out how to budget for their maintenance. And so we did one for them, and now we're kind of putting them together for all of our counties.
Yeah.
Just-
It's really cool.
So we have a project in place, likely, assuming the bids work out all right for 2025. And it would be my idea that you should decide in 2025 what you desire to address in 2026, so we're not here in May of next year trying to figure out what we're doing
Yeah,
next year.
I agree.
And that was the intent, I guess, when we ultimately met with you, Brent, a year or two ago, whenever we met up at the cafe.
Yep.
To talk about what are the priorities of the road department. It's just impossible to plan for these things in the same year you're trying to do them. That's very difficult.
Yeah.
Yeah, and hopefully this will help in that process.
Right.
I know those numbers are scary.
Yeah, they are.
You know.
So let's, Brent, let's do some thinking here before next meeting and
Oh, yeah.
probably
Yeah.
identify what we want to do next.
I've got a, you know, I got something I'd like to see done next year, and I'll get my ducks in a row, and we'll talk about it at the June meeting.
Sounds good.
You can redline this all you want, Brent, and we
Yep.
can make the changes very quickly to it. And I can reprint it out again. We can laminate this thing if you guys want it, but
No, that's good.
it changes
No,
all
this
the
is-
time. I made
This
one
is
for
very
divide.
helpful for me too.
4 years after I made divides, I made another one for divide because things changed and
Well, up
stuff
there.
moved and all that. So this is gonna be an ongoing thing that we can now use from now on, I guess, so.
Very good.
Thanks, Jason.
Yep,
Anything
anything
else?
else for me?
I don't think so.
Alright, I will get that.
Thanks for
Add
working
to
that
you
out.
down.
Yeah, thank you.
Yep. Brent, you got anything quick?
I really don't have much for you guys.
Good.
Thank you.
We're running low.
How many, I got a question. How many roads at the beginning of the year were you gonna bring in?
Could I get a copy of what
We're in
was given to
process of
the
it, we-
news?
No, I know, but at the beginning, did you have like
I
102 miles
think
to
it
do?
was like
or-
43, we're over half done.
I was just saying, how many we got done
We're
or
gonna-
left?
We're gonna be really close to finishing shouldering by
Okay.
the end of this week.
Yeah,
shouldered-
it's pretty limited.
We shouldered all day yesterday. I was shouldering this morning before I came here. That's where I'm going. I'm gonna be shouldering tomorrow. I'm gonna be shouldering Thursday. I may be shouldering Monday. One township went and they had a shouldering disc and they shouldered in their area. Four of our 8 blade guys, we're done shouldering with the shouldering disc in the area. The blades can shoulder without the disc, it just tends to work a little bit better with the disc. So basically, I'm gonna be shouldering all this week, the weather looks good. Maybe a day or two next week. Jeff Lewis is back temporarily to help me. He can only work about 40 to 45 hours in May and 40 to 45 hours in June. And then he turns 66 in 6 months, and he will be working 40-hour weeks for us as seasonal, but temporary help to freeze up 40-hour weeks. That has been a godsend. He actually came and worked yesterday. We got the Durapatcher loaded, and that is heating up. When I'm done shouldering, whether it's the end of this week or early next week, Jeff is going to come back, and Jeff and I are going to go Durapatch for 3 days and start working on our highways. So, yeah, other than that, guys, I'm here for questions from you guys. What are your concerns?
Western Township roads look pretty good. They pulled them pretty early, a lot of them, trying to get some stuff north and south there. Do you hear anything from the other mile off of the?
Yeah, can we nag on them to get that clay in
No,
there?
Ralph Mache left me a message late Friday. I didn't get the message because I didn't have my work phone with me, we weren't working. I need to contact him, but he did reach out about that mile. So,
They want to, I
Yep,
know, because I was
yep,
at the
so
meeting, I was
I'll-
at the township meeting.
I'll reach out to him this
Are they gonna add
afternoon.
some dirt to that or
Clay.
something to
Clay.
make it back
Clay,
better?
yeah.
Clay, yep, yep.
Got that mile off the highway.
The one big project that we worked on, you guys were all at the meeting, and Lonnie actually was quite upset last summer, there was a miscommunication between me and him. That project, we worked for the blades were there for 4 days, 2 blades. We completely rebuilt 6 miles of that township on 28th Street. And to make you aware, 28th Street is the one with the new Wellsburg Bridge. And that road is all the way across Wells County right now, is seeing traffic like you can't believe, heading over to the Hamburg elevator.
Yep.
So we did what I would classify as a major 6-mile road build. We were down into
Good.
the bottom of the ditch with blades. Shouldering disc was up there for several days. We did 6 miles of shouldering yesterday. I got 3 miles lightly shouldered this morning. I want to get 20 more miles done in the next 2.5 days. And the blade guys are reaching out on their own in shouldering. All the blades have been outgoing for about 2 to 2.5 weeks. We lost a few days, a few rainy days where it just didn't work good. I feel that the frost is for the most part out, or dang near out. We're not noticing it. The soft spots are showing up on the gravel roads. I'm getting quite a few calls, as I'm sure you guys are, wondering why the blades haven't been around yet. And I tell them, listen, we started 2.5 weeks ago. It's a limited, we're pulling shoulders. We're not moving as fast as we all due in the middle of the summer. And when we start blading, it takes us 3+ weeks to get around the route, and we're just not there yet, but it's not like we're not working. But I expected those calls.